Are either of you guys playing Dune Awakening?
Oh my god! Well, first off, hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the podcast. I thought you were going to introduce it. You were just like straight
episode
into it.
7.
We have things other than video games to talk
Consecutive
about.
gamer podcast.
This is important.
For gamers by gamers. No, we don't play the Dune game.
I will be completely honest. I have almost zero interest in the Dune game.
That's how I was
Sell me on
feeling. That's how I was feeling until I turned it on and started playing it. And here's like one of my big beefs with video games these days is that for the most part, they're basically art corridors. They're basically playing the Unreal Engine demo with different art assets. You know, you walk down a hallway, it's very pretty, you hit a button to interact and triggers the next scripted thing, and you walk down that hallway.
I have not played a game like that.
I think you're playing too many games. I think you got to be more selective.
All right.
I can't remember the last time I played a game that was like how
I'm painting a bleak picture for contrast here. But
okay.
Yeah.
It's the apocalypse.
It's the apocalypse. And
Either games are just beautiful and pretty and soulless, or soulless and full of DLC.
That too, actually, because I don't have a lot of time, and I very much judge a game on like how fast can I turn it on and start playing with my friends. Like truly playing, not grinding to unlock the red dot site that's gonna make it so I can actually have fun playing, but like actually playing. You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so D has been like, you guys need to get on this Dune game. This Dune game's awesome. And we're like, all right. And I wasn't really sure what to expect. And booted it up, and just you set foot on Arrakis, and it's out there all before you, just for your life to live. And your friend's just living his life on Arrakis too, and you can do whatever you want. And it's actually super cool because it's like, it's such a nice, rich, vibey, atmospheric recreation of Dune. Mm-hmm. And it's not like a driven... It's not like a driven, like, you're the main character, here's the crazy story.
Oh, so not everyone's freaking Timothée Chalamet?
You're right. Exactly. Not everyone is Timothée Chalamet.
And they're like, Quizzic Satirac, Quizzic Satirac.
Yeah, it's like a Star Wars game where everybody's a Jedi. Even though it's supposed to be one of them in the universe at that point. You know, it's like, yeah, and you go out there and it's like, oh, I don't even have a still suit. I guess I'll walk to that rock, and then you're walking, you're like, oh, what's that rumbling? Like, oh, that's right, worms. And like everything's just there. And there's like Harkonnen ships like flying overhead, like scanning with spotlights, looking for people to be caught out on like the sand. And you'll see like ships coming in with like teleportation, or like interstellar transports coming in from like above the atmosphere, going down to like the city and stuff
to get all that spice.
And then like, and you're just a noob looking at all this. You don't even have like a vibro blade.
So are you supposed to be what are they called? The Freeman? Freeman?
No, there's no more Fremen.
Fremen.
There's no more Fremen, actually.
There's no
so
more.
you're
Is
like,
this
where do you come from?
Pre-movie or
This
post?
is a alternate universe where Timothée Chalamet was actually born as a girl, and never happened.
Well, what does it matter if he's a girl?
Because in Dune lore, there's the prophecy that she's going to have this son, and so the Bene Gesserit would make it so that they would never have a son and they'd only have daughters to make sure the prophecy would not come true. And then one of them, I think, used some witchcraft to like make it a son instead, and then the prophecy.
Oh,
began.
okay. So they do it like one little tweak.
Yeah, the genetic
They basically
code.
made sure the prophecy didn't come true, right?
Yeah, and so this is the one where the prophecy was,
But like still, so you're playing a character who's
Wait, what do you mean? There's no
from
Fremen?
which race?
Yeah, I mean,
There's
they
no
were
Fremen
wiped out
background.
by the Sardaukar.
Oh, because
Yeah.
they didn't have Timmy.
No,
Timmy didn't have
They
him
didn't
out.
Timmy to lead them the morale boost.
so that's the world you're in, and it's very.
So does
vibey.
it even matter where your character's from?
Well, no, it doesn't.
Can you choose?
Aside from just being who you are.
Choose your race.
I'm just curious.
Can you choose your house?
How do you end up on
Can
this
you-
planet
can you be
that's
a
controlled by the
frickin'
Harkonnen and
I think
you're
you're
like not Harkonnen?
It's a bit like Skyrim. Where
Can you be a
you're-
mentalist or whatever?
Yes, you can.
Or a mentat?
Yeah, Mentat.
Can you be friggin' Chris Angel?
You do like tricks and bars and stuff. Yeah, I don't exactly know because I skipped a lot of the opening cinematic.
It's okay.
But I think you're like a prisoner in a ship that crashes.
Well, this is what he's saying about how fast. So he turns the game on, sets a stopwatch, and once cinematics go, he goes,
Yep.
and then it's like how fast can I skip this and start playing?
Yeah, and it's actually pretty fast. And then,
Well, I mean that's because you have the mouse set to turbo mode.
yeah, and so you're sitting there and you're like the scrub in the desert, and you're seeing these ships flying by
Wow.
and sandworms, and it's all really cool. And then D shows up on a motorcycle. And he's like, "Get on."
A motorcycle, a sand
Actually,
motorcycle?
it's more like a
Sand cycle.
snowmobile, but for sand.
That's sick.
Yep.
So
And
yeah,
you're like,
today's GamerCast is brought to you by Dune Awakening, now on Steam. Dune Awakening, become your own Quizak Satarak.
I feel like I'm trying.
And
I'm trying to convince
forge a new
why it's
world.
cool, and
play
make
it.
a sale. But,
That's been me trying to convince you guys to play the new Doom game.
That's
and
like
the
me-
only thing you ever say back to me is like, "Did you play the first two?" I'm like, "No."
That's like me resisting all these temptations to play these new games and just continuously playing the remastered Oblivion. I will not stop. Except for Kingdom Come when that goes on sale.
That's also what you've been saying.
That's all I'm committed. It's just my kids like it too much, so it's a
I
great
do gotta
excuse.
say the new Mario Kart is very fun.
we talked
I was a
about
little
that
lukewarm on it
for a
at
bit.
first because I was like, this is just like the same Mario Kart. But when I started playing the new Knockout game type, that's when I realized this is actually a really, really fun game.
Yes. Knockout.
Well, because it's like you
Yeah.
string 5 different races together into one long race. So instead of just like a bunch of small races and you get points, it's just like
I like that.
one super long race. You're just racing
cool.
nonstop for like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to segue that one. I'm just going to say, since we talked about Mario Kart a bunch on the last podcast, Switch 2. It was the Switch 2 Gamercast.
No, it's
We
Switch 2
talked about it for
Gamercast.
like 5 minutes.
I know. No, last week was technically the LA's on fire. Please send help, Marines podcast.
Oh yeah, and I started looking at the comments and I was like, nope, that's enough for me.
Oh. The only comments I read are the ones on the corridordigital.com live chat. So
Yeah.
if you want me to read those comments, those few precious comments, subscribe now.
Yeah. Well,
But you're gonna segue?
Yes, knockout. Oh, I wanted to talk about this marble thing a little
Yes,
bit.
yes.
'Cause it's important
Guys.
just to let people know. A few weeks ago, Jordan was like, guys, I'm obsessed with marble races. And that obsession has now spread like a virus, mostly just to me and to a few others. I guess it's hit and run a little bit. Marble excitement.
I was very inspired by it. I feel like I was pushing hard for this to become a video, but I haven't put in any work yet.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's been all you. So it's
Well, like between a couple of these shoots here and like wrapping up the dish video and stuff, I've
Yeah.
been trying to like build these like modules out to basically try and design this like I'll just say perfect marble run, because the idea is like to try and make the best version of a marble run that has like all the best parts. And like I'm starting to realize it's turning very much into this like the Rube Goldberg satisfying render machine, the race. It's like all that kind of combined. And so, like when you're saying with the Mario Kart stuff, I got the elimination stuff programmed and ready to go, which is really fun. And I think that's like one of those factors in the satisfying marble runs, as seen in, I think More Balls was the guy's just YouTube channel.
more balls.
Something like that. He's the CGI marble guy.
Yeah.
But like that's what he has that
Did
set
that
up in
stuff
Blender.
Yeah.
Because he's doing his in Blender. And I was thinking, like, how the heck do you do a marble race dynamically and have these elimination points? Because it's like you have to.
Well, the
You
main
can't
thing
manually
about
animate that kind of stuff. You have to script it.
well, also
so,
like his marble run was still at the end of the day something that you could replicate in real life. It was like, despite being a digital marble run, it was still basically just obeying the normal laws of physics,
Yeah.
as opposed to taking full advantage of what a digital play space could offer.
Yeah.
Anti-gravity and all kinds of random other things that like you couldn't do that in real life.
I think that's like the icing, so to speak, because it's like you can only switch gravity so many times before you're like, okay, like I get it. It has to come like at those like perfect moments.
Yeah.
When it looks like you're about to go down the thing and then they just float away and go off to another track. It's like those expectation things. Like we were talking about the speed zones, and I was like, oh man, it'd be so cool to have a moment where there's a big jump coming up, and some of the tracks have the speed booster. And so you watch the marbles hit the speed booster and go over the jump, and the rest of the marbles just kind of fall through like a crack. And then you realize, oh, the jump is actually to the long version of the track. So all the ones that didn't hit the speed boost are actually in the lead. And like little expectation shifts like that, where
I like
like sometimes it is advantageous, and then sometimes like things backfire in a sense, or just like go against expectations. And I think that's like the satisfying part, where you're like engaged from the marble storytelling in each little thing. So I'm really hyping this up. It better be good.
No, I think it's gonna be a really fun video.
Yeah, I'm really
excited for it.
Same. So,
Yeah, the plan is to basically film all of our reactions like a real horse race. As
A
like
real
you
horse
make
race.
this whole thing, and we all
real
have our
horse
own
race.
marbles, and we're all gonna like root for our marbles to win. I think it'll be a good time. I'm really excited for it. This is another one of those experiments where we try a new format. and then it turns into Bob Ross with sauce, and it's like, I guess we won't do that one again.
It is, but it kind of isn't, because I think it's a satisfying render.
No,
format.
I know. I'm very
core,
optimistic, to be clear.
So
to be clear,
I'm not too concerned.
I like the idea of being able to gain all your producer points in the marble runs.
Let's see if we can think about that. I mean, it would have to be a thing where like we live stream the marble run. The problem is like I would need to set a version up in Unreal for it to truly be like a live thing.
Yeah.
So,
how have you been enjoying doing Python scripting in Cinema?
it's great.
Yeah.
You know, all the people who code with AI in cursors say, always read all the code. I don't do that.
And how's that working for you?
Everything's functioning just fine as far as I need it to. So, yeah.
That's
no
always
problems.
been an area I haven't quite like gotten into at all.
Yeah,
is the coding
scripting.
side
It's
of 3D
surprisingly
packages.
So it's so simple. Like
I've
Blender,
experimented a little bit. Oh, what's the name of it? There's like it's like the internal code base for Cinema 4D. It's called like Cappuccino, I think. Espresso. That's what it is. Where it's a little bit of like node-based programming. I did that for my satisfying render. For basically my little rolling pin, I made it so that however much it moves laterally, left to right, will be how much it rotates as well.
Oh, nice.
So like
Yeah.
if I move it, it'll just automatically rotate. I don't have to keyframe those things separately and try to get it to match. It's just automatic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, my hot take is that it's hot garbage, but it's mostly from a lack of documentation standpoint. You know, for instance, there's a thing called thinking particles in Cinema 4D.
Thinking particles.
I put it in quotes because thinking particles is also, like, I think a standalone package or potentially a plugin for other software too.
Well, it was developed
and it's
by
like incredibly, but it's just incredibly unclear how to actually use these tools, even within the documentation. And like, there's technically tutorials, but like, it changes depending on the version of Cinema you're in, so they go out of date very quickly. And
Yeah, no, I thought.
That's-
I mean,
yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong. I thought Thinking Particles was like developed by the people who made Krakatoa.
yeah, it is. And every time I go on their website,
So
they
it's
go
like-
like, "How do I use thinking particles?" I go to insidium.com and buy X particles instead, which is what I did. So I'm not looking back. Yeah,
But X Particles you like.
yeah, and also you don't have to subscribe or anything now. So it's just like it was like $300. You have a license. Moving on.
Yeah. I'm such a fan of just being able to buy software these days.
It's so great.
I-
I know. Well, sorry. Someone said something about the Switch 2. I read finally that someone plugged a third-party cartridge into their Switch 2 and it got bricked.
Oh, I just
Really?
saw that this morning. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's lame.
I'm just like, God dang! Like,
I mean, Nintendo did warn everyone that they were going to do that, but nonetheless, it's still lame.
I know it's like what if you poke the wrong part of the screen or what if you look at it wrong. I don't know.
I mean, it's
But I don't think it actually bricked it. I think it just prevented it from ever getting online again.
Okay. Well, either way, yeah.
prevented from ever getting online again.
Someone says I'm
I was
tactically
gonna
holding
say,
the
not
logo.
a sponsor.
They are actually they did actually sponsor a video, so logo's that, boys.
They're pretty good.
No, I'm drinking this because I ran 8.5 miles this morning.
Oh, hell yeah,
I'm
dude.
like, I'm like, I feel like it was perfect. We got the Huel yesterday. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna run 8 miles, come to the studio and chug that milk.
Okay.
But did you run here from your house?
No, I ran it was like a big tour, a big circuit of places.
I do want to talk about my running experience
I ran
lately.
yeah. Well,
I know I've already talked with you about
I'll hand
this
it
a
off.
bunch.
I'll hand it off. But
So you ran 8.5
it was
miles
8.5
this morning?
because I have to run a mile extra every week
Wow,
to hit this
okay.
marathon or half marathon I'm doing.
When are
which
you
is
doing the half
13.
marathon?
It's like beginning of August. So
Wow, okay. And the half marathon is 13.1 miles.
yeah, so next
That's a
week's
lot of
9.5.
miles.
Then I have 10.5, and
And
then
are
I
you-
got
how many-
11.5, and then I basically have that 12. But I'm probably not going to do the 12. I'm going to get the 11 and
Yeah.
skip a week or so.
Yeah.
Because I'll be on vacation actually, so I'm definitely skipping that week. And then it's gonna be surprise, 13 miles. And
And
yeah.
are you doing, when you say like raising in a mile every week, how many of those runs are you doing per week? Just one run?
one big one?
One big one
and
a
then like maybe
Mostly, like, small?
then maybe 2 baby-sized runs.
Yeah. So I was up in Seattle over the weekend. I ran
Yeah.
this Sound to Narrows race up in Point Defiance. It was a really fun race. It was a 12K. It was my first time running a 12K. But first, to point out, I've never really run before. And my sister and my dad were going to be doing this run, but my dad hurt his leg, so we had to drop out. So my sister was like, hey, you want to do this run with me instead of dad? And I was like, sure, with 1 week of notice. And before that, I had only ever run 3 miles at a time. And a 12K is 7.5 miles. It's 12 kilometers. So that the weekend ahead of time, I ran 5 miles at the gym on a treadmill, and it like wrecked my hips. I couldn't move my hips for like the rest of the weekend.
Because you're on a treadmill, man. Treadmills suck.
Okay.
Don't you hate being a hamster, right? Like, that's what it is. It's like you could run anywhere. Instead, it's stasis. Like, sorry, that's my, once again, hot take. Also, maybe that's what screwed up your hips, right? Instead of just actually running.
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
No, it was just not being used to running that distance.
Okay.
And I was like, I didn't really have proper running form, so I basically spent the entire next week.
What does that mean? What
was your improper running form?
It's like the guy from the.
I watched a lot of videos last week on proper running form. It's a bit of a thing, like not having like the correct like stride length and where you're landing on your feet and how much you're picking your heels up and stuff like that, and how much you're twisting your hips, how much you're raising your head up and down, or versus trying to keep that level. It's a lot more nuanced than I expected it to be. So I was studying that and working on that throughout the week. But I was working with ChatGPT to like come up with a training regimen for me, a daily regimen, so I can train for a 12K in a week. And the first thing it said was stop running long distances. There's not enough time for that to help. And I was like, oh, okay, great. So I basically ran 2 miles every day last week, just working on that. And on top of that, I didn't realize how important it was to do like strength training exercises. If you're running, you have to like train the specific muscles in your legs and hips and your glutes and stuff like that. So yeah, I did all that. And then I was fully expecting to like have to walk half this race or like having to take breaks, and I ended up running the whole thing slowly but surely. I had like 11.5-minute pace, but it was a very hilly area. I think the total altitude climb was like 600 feet in the run. But yeah, I don't know. It went really well. It was like the first time in my life. Well, first off, the previous week, 5 miles was the longest I'd ever run in my life before that. And then the 7.5 miles ended up being easier than the 5-mile race. So it turns out doing small runs every day, just kind of getting those muscles worked up was plenty to get you prepared for a 12K. So, yeah.
Sweet. ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just the consistency of holding to that. And good running form.
It's like, sorry, when you say running form, for some reason, saying bad running form immediately made me think of Attack on Titan. That's exactly where my mind went. That's funny. Like, yeah, I hate to admit it, but I did like a 10K like last winter too, and I was like, because I'm just like kind of getting into it too, but same thing. I was like, hey Claude, just heads up, I have no training. I'm just doing this for fun. I did Google some stuff, but I was just like, please to God, just tell me what should I eat for breakfast, and they're like, don't. Like half a banana, a spoonful of honey, maybe a piece of toast.
Really? I had to load up on carbs.
Yeah, well,
like the night before I loaded up on carbs.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Like Phoebe from
not
Friends.
morning of.
But yeah, no, it was the most fun I'd ever had running, because up until that point, I had never had fun running. I've never enjoyed running.
Yeah.
Turns out it can be fun.
It's fun when you have like the cardio for it, and you can just go.
Yeah, and that was the thing. From all my boxing training, my cardio was totally fine. It was just like my hips were the problem. Like at the end of the race, I couldn't walk. I had to like waddle around until I stretched out my hips enough to walk.
That sucks. That blows. That's cool though. Yeah.
But yeah, dude, half marathon though. My sister's training for that. She's got half marathon coming up in I think early August as well.
Nice.
That's so much running. My dad used to run a lot. I will never forget on his 40th birthday, he ran a marathon.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, if you can run a marathon on your 40th birthday, I can run a 12K when I'm years younger than that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, the big reason I'm doing it too is because like Sarah's mom she does marathons.
Whoa.
She's
okay.
like 60 and change now.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, I have no excuse. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Got some people catching the live podcast for the first time.
Yeah.
What's up,
For the
Amos?
first time.
Somebody else also. I missed the name. I started with the J, I think.
Jenna.
That's cool. It's always cool to see new people here.
Sweet.
I told you guys a little bit about this video I did yesterday, but can I tell you more about it live on this podcast? You can maybe tell me what you
let's
guys
hear about
think live on the podcast. Okay, so we've done the T1000 effect recreated years later. We've done
a few times. Yeah.
We've done the different types of T1000 effects. We've done the Tron cycle scene in a weekend.
Oh, I know where this is going now. I was like actually very confused
because like one of the things that like I don't know that I really enjoy is seeing just how much technology changes, especially like when it comes to movie making. And something that was a huge effort back like in the 90s, if you can do that with like home rigs, like home computers and cameras, like it just really shows you how far or how accessible filmmaking's become. And I like it because it makes me think like, oh, like I can actually do all these things that like, you know, inspired me to get into filmmaking and stuff like that. So, you know, doing those one-day effects challenges, you know, that's the draw that I have to them. So I've always wanted to do the Matrix bullet time in one day.
Yeah, that's been an idea we have literally talked about for like 5 years. Like a long time. That's been one of those is like, if we could do the bullet time effect in like a day, that'd be sweet. And I remember we literally talked about that like early React days, so maybe even 6 years.
Yeah, and I mean, that iteration of it was just trying to set up the cameras in a day to do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, we're like, oh, enough people have cameras and cameras are cheap enough. Maybe we can just make the 360 rig, or we can like have everybody use their phone and record, you know, in slow motion. And we can take the frames and interpolate. But we never did that because I think we knew deep down inside that it would probably look like garbage.
And we also knew that it'd be a bit of a thing trying to wrangle 200 GoPros.
Yeah, or even just like having
that
like
route.
12 iPhones in a circle, you know. And
I mean, it was a whole mess trying to wrangle 3 iPhones for the
Move AI.
the 300 video.
Oh,
with the multiple levels of
Nobody
zoom.
wanted to give you their phone.
I felt bad in hindsight asking people to do that. It's like, yeah,
It's funny.
good video though. It turned out fun.
Wizard Cops got ripped off by Netflix. Yeah, what else is new? Anyways, there's also like the idea of doing like a 3D scan, but like same issue is I feel like a 3D, you know, it needs to be at least as good as the original shot. You know, it needs to like be at that level, and I think a janky 3D scanned, you know, animated character just wouldn't hit, and you'd be able, like the fabric wouldn't move the same way, the hair, the face. All
So you're talking about a full render, like a digi-double.
Yeah, the digi-double. And like there's also the idea of like going to a place that has like a volume capture stage, which kind of feels like you just had somebody else set up the Matrix set and you filmed it in a day by going to the Matrix set and hitting record on the cameras, which they basically did it in a day if you take it by that standard as well. So like I've been waiting to be able to like somehow do it with just kind of like the stuff we have here, and like in a way that's not too crazy. And I feel like I might be there, maybe. Like, I feel like the tech might be there. I'm trying to figure out right now. Google put out this research project called Cat 4D, and basically it can take a video file that's been filmed from like one point of view, reimagine it from a couple like slightly different angles, and then it runs that through a Gaussian splat generator and turns it into a animated Gaussian splat.
That's cool.
And it's the same, like some of the people that worked on that are the same people that worked on the big 360 GoPro rig from back in the day, the Leap, Google Leap.
The Leap, yeah. Yeah. We used that.
Yeah, we did.
We did a full 360 3D video. I remember compositing portals in 3D on a 360. Yeah, it was a whole thing.
This is the 360 Wizards one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
The wizard battle with the fireworks.
Same when I got like wool wizard costumes and then just strapped fireworks to ourselves and shot fireworks at each other.
Then you had to download like 24. They had a relatively streamlined process for it, but you had to take all the different SD cards into this thing, and it uploaded all automatically to Google's servers, and then like you waited a day, and then you were able to like download the footage after that.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, like Google's Cat 4D looks super cool, but like it's not publicly available.
Is that different from 4D Gaussian splatting?
Well, it is 4D Gaussian splatting, but it's just that they're able to effectively use a video model to just take one point of view and render out like multiple points of views.
As opposed to requiring an initial setup of multiple cameras.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I forget who it was, but someone else posted, they're using a bit of a rig and they're doing the 4D Gaussian splatting thing. but it's running so efficiently you can play back that 4D video in your browser.
It's crazy.
And it actually runs smoothly. You can tilt and pan and like orbit around.
That's cool.
A video file and like zoom in on this dude, and he's got glasses and stuff. You can see the refraction through the glasses depending on how you change the angle. And it's just like, it's literally just playing in Safari on my phone.
That's insane.
That's sweet. I mean, this stuff is super cool. Like, I would love to like find also too
4DV.ai.
What's like the practical like volume capture, you know, for like a single person with their like a single man. No. or a married man. No, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like here's your like nice high-end PC. Like, what's like the volumetric capture thing you can do with maybe like
I don't know,
maybe one or two cameras or something like that, so that way you can actually get your stuff in 3D software. Because like once again, seeing the Yu Yu Hakusho stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like I was saying this on the React show too. It's like that stuff seems so dang useful for everything, whether you're in Unreal or Cinema or making satisfying renders or doing VFX. Like being able to basically translate some video into a 3D model, and skip the whole animation process of like rigging a face. Like that would be so incredible.
Yeah.
And I know this is going into a Gaussian splat situation, but
well,
like, yeah.
The thing about the bullet time shot that's tricky is that like Neo's not frozen. He's moving. Like he's actually going
Right.
through a full action that ends with like the final dodge and pose at the end of the shot.
As opposed to earlier in the movie when Trinity jumps up and does her little like wasp pose or whatever it is, and it just like time completely freezes, then the camera orbits around. That was made by all those cameras taking a picture at the exact same moment and then playing onwards. Whereas like you're saying, Neo's doing this stuff and he's moving through the whole shot.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, it's very easy to do that version of Trinity, where it's like, all right, it's frozen in time. You don't edit or animate anything. It's just like you move the camera to another spot. We're already seeing those videos pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy. But the thing is, like, when you're dealing with the multi-camera rig, you're dealing with effectively the classic Genlock situation where your cameras need to be firing at the same frame rate, like down to the microsecond or nanosecond. So that way, when you play the next frame, it's jumping a 24th of a second in time, rather than like, oh, we're just going to film and then just take frames. Like, no, you can't just do that. You need them to each have that 24th of a second or something in that interval, maybe a 12th of a second, depending on how.
Well, like on the Matrix for the bullet time shot, they were just stills cameras. They were just taking a single photo and they were just timed up. The timing, like you're talking about, was very specifically timed, but they weren't recording videos.
Yeah.
But the timing was still extremely important.
Yeah. Yeah, each one was offset just a little bit in terms of like...
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't do that with the GoPros, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but also like the first camera and the last camera were film cameras as well. So it'd start moving and then go into like the spin and then come out of that and keep moving as well. And there's a whole like time to that, like where it's tweaked. But also Neo has this whole fluttering like cape of a jacket as well. So you can't like... that it makes it hard to do it in 3D because of that cloth simulation. You know, like you either have to actually somehow film or volumetrically capture like that fluttering cloth, or just not do the shot. Like that's what's kept me from being able to like really attack it. Is that just like that one facet of it? Like if it was just a dude in a suit, like we could have done that by now. You know. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I can somehow get in touch with somebody from the Cat 4D team. I've also been looking at this thing called Uni3C, which is open source, and you can fire it up. Yeah, it's basically a team figured out a way to you take a video file, and you get a z-depth estimation from that video file, and you effectively extrude the video file by that z-depth, so you basically get a point cloud, so to speak, of your scene.
Yeah.
You know, with obscurations, like there's parts that I can't see, of course. And then you use a video infill model.
That's the key part.
Yeah, so you change perspective, and when the perspective changes, you know, it basically reveals areas that you wouldn't, you know, that aren't filled in by the texture, so to speak.
How are you going to do a spin, though? Because eventually you're going to go to the dark side of the moon, so to speak.
It has to all be imagined. But they took that. They made that step, which is crazy. Just like, okay, z-depth it, and then if you make a new 3D camera and you move it off to the side, use an infill model to infill those holes. But it's using a video infill model, so it's like temporally consistent and like pulls awareness from where the camera was, so to speak. But then they also tied that into a full 3D body motion track, SMPL, Simple, came out a while back. It's very, very good. And so when combining like a 3D point cloud with this like pretty good motion track 3D model of a human being with this video infill model, you kind of can render any perspective of a scene. And that's the promise, at least. I tried to fire it up yesterday, and it immediately filled up all the VRAM on my 4090, and my computer crashed. And so then I spent the day trying to use Cursor and Gemini Pro to like optimize the memory handling. We just couldn't quite get it there. We were doing like on-the-fly quantization and things like that. Yeah.
And you even what about the what was the A1000 one?
We don't have an A1000.
What's that one?
Well, we have like the multiple 3090 rig, but like you can't split the
What's
model.
the AI machine got it?
No, I thought the AI.
That is the AI machine.
We have the other one that has the 48 gig, but it's also got very old architecture in it. And at this point, I'm learning how to use RunPod now, so I can like go and use actual like servers, like NVIDIA servers, to try this out. So that's my goal for later today.
Gotcha. Yeah, Scott's saying like you could trigger DSLRs with an Arduino microcontroller for timing. That is very true, but it still kind of
requires setting up like 200
setting
DSLRs.
up 200 cameras, which is what we're specifically trying to avoid.
Yeah, but it's cool you can do it with an Arduino now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did it with a graphing calculator in college.
Really?
Yeah, you just set up like a quick little program because it was just like it was the headphone jack essentially out of a graphing calculator, and I set it up into my camera for like a time-lapse rig. And I literally that was my whole senior design project, was like a time-lapse dolly essentially. And I powered it with a graphing calculator, just like held on by a rubber band to the camera. But also, if you're wanting to get an idea of what 4D video looks like, go to 4dv.ai, and it's what I was showing the camera a moment ago. It's literally just like the 2D. Sorry, it's like a video feed that you can view from any direction. And it runs in your browser. It's pretty sick. What Nico's talking about is slightly different in procedure, but at the end of the day, it's kind of giving you the same
Basically
thing.
becomes this.
Yeah, 4D, by the way, in case if you don't know what 4D means, it means XYZ plus T.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
The thing is, like, it does a really good job recreating thin objects. I wonder how many cameras you need to do this.
So now you're viewing it from the other side. Yeah, so it's like, in some of the ones,
there's got to be a lot. There's got to be a couple
to the
cameras.
left,
That guy's face is way too.
The third from the
clear.
left, on the selection at the bottom. Yeah, that one.
Wait a minute. No, something's freaky going on there. So I think what they're doing is they might be creating like
So on this one, you can actually see the camera rig.
Oh, yeah.
If you look to the right, wait for it to finish loading. Yeah, it loads so much faster on my phone browser, probably because it's just rendering it in much lower resolution. But like the fidelity of this is pretty.
It's insane.
Pretty high quality. Like this is a Gaussian splat running in real time in a browser, and you can orbit. You can move around right now, I think.
Not yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay, now you can. So now you can kind of see the camera rig.
wow.
that's a lot of cameras.
That's just the Matrix bullet time rig.
I'm sorry, just by like inferring that. So 1, 2, 3, 4,
And
5,
then
6.
all the way over here.
Oh,
up
my
to
gosh.
that. So what?
Yeah.
We're dealing with something like 30, 40 cameras, possibly.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even something like this, but it's giving you very high fidelity 4D video, which is pretty nuts. Like look at the quality on him. Zoom in on his glasses.
I can zoom.
Yeah.
Mouse wheel?
It's not working.
Well, you can zoom on your phone.
Okay.
Click to interact?
No, that.
Oh, here we go.
Where's that zoom button?
Now
Fly.
try
Go to fly. Orbit.
No.
Change it from orbit to fly mode. There you go.
No, the fly is just gonna.
Whoa.
No, WASD.
Oh boy.
Christian's immediately trying to learn the game. Yeah.
And it's like everything you're seeing is represented by little
It's pretty
slashes, little
Yeah.
spikes, like a
Little
point
little
stretched out
blurs.
good.
sideways.
Those are Gaussians.
Yeah,
Gaussian.
but it's like the
Wait, are they Gauss or are they Gauss?
what?
Look at the face
Is
in
it
the back
Gauss
of
or
his chair.
Gauss? I can't remember.
Look at the what?
There's a face on the back of his chair. Wearing sunglasses.
Oh my God!
Those like
The
strange.
heck?
Those little baby heads must be Easter eggs.
They must be. They have to be Easter eggs.
That's totally Easter eggs.
Or I wonder if it's just some sort of like landmark tracking thing for it to resolve like the
I'm sure.
back.
It's probably some highly technical purpose. Yeah.
Like I'm trying to get you to zoom in on his glasses specifically. Like there's refraction you actually see in his
It's
glasses.
crazy. The one thing about Gaussian splats is that like they're very tough to relight. And like
that's the thing, is that like it's not geometry. It is literally just the colors as captured in the actual scene.
Yeah,
you're
just
just
like a 3D
recreating
pixel.
exactly what was there. You can't really just natively edit that.
yeah.
There are ways. I imagine that'll be a solved problem in the somewhat near future. We're already kind of seeing it in various other things, but yeah, it's like all those little spikes, all those little slashes and stuff you see are they're just representations of what the cameras were capturing.
Yeah, well, see this is like
It's the same thing as Nerfs, the Nerfs video I made 3 years ago.
like this is super cool, but from a single man's perspective, from one man's perspective, like all the Gaussian. I'm gonna say oh gosh, my Gaussian splat experience last year.
Yeah, you spent a lot of time working on this.
I did spend a lot of time thinking and playing with them, but the thing is, it's like they are incredible, but when you look at and how they're accomplishing it here, it's like the promise in this technology is when you can accomplish this when you're not using a million cameras. The idea of like making when you capture a scene, you capture it with one camera, so you're like, oh, that makes it accessible. The moment you're at this level of like, oh, well, we have 40 cameras to do it, it's like, well, that's I don't know that it loses its coolness anymore, because it's like, oh, well, of course you did that because you have this humongous rig, then you're processing and all that stuff.
I don't know. I think you're talking about two different things that are
a little perhaps.
Because this is like
I'm just saying versus what Nico's talking about too with the other.
We're also
version.
not viewing this in the proper sort of format. Like the promise of something like this is this is volumetric capture. That's what this is. This is straight up volumetric capture.
This is volumetric capture.
And this is going to be best utilized when viewing in VR. When you can actually get the proper like depth and two viewpoints of your eyes and stuff.
Yeah, because who needs a 3D interview of a guy in a browser? You know what I'm saying?
I do wonder, like, volumetric capture is cool, but I feel like as far as human beings go with the imagery that we want, I think we like having things composed and framed, as opposed to just like, there's a lot of times when just having volumetric capture or something is cool, but like, I think we find something more entertaining and more engaging when there's thought and direction put into the perspective.
Well, this is what I'm saying earlier with like being able to take this stuff and actually mesh it and put it into a scene and actually place it, so to speak. Where like if you were able to film, let's say this band playing, how much cooler would it be to go the Ian Hubert route of then going, okay, sweet, and then I can put them on this place, and I can put the cool scaffolding around them, and I can put them on this flying bus that's floating down an alleyway.
Yeah.
It's like that's where I'm excited about this.
Or put like a Hideo Kojima and like you just film your scene once in a stage and then like come up with wacky camera angles afterwards. Yeah, it'd be really cool in that regard. But I feel like the final presentation still isn't necessarily in volumetric. It's just a tool to let you do cooler stuff to get you to a final presentation.
And it like I keep saying, it's like it just depends on what you want that final presentation to be. I know there's a lot of people who are very interested in this as like a memory preservation type thing. They want to be able to just like live in this spot. It's not about composition. It's not about viewing it as a film. It's like they want to just witness it rather than view it.
That brings me to another video idea, actually, that I've been thinking we should try. And I think this is kind of based off of your idea, Ren. All right, so what idea should we pursue next? Should we try doing the Matrix in one day? Or should we do the idea where we take old family videos, like shot in VHS from back in the day, run them through something like Starlight to do a hyper up-res, and then Gaussian splat those videos to be able to revisit our childhood homes?
If we can pull that off.
I feel like we might be able to. Which idea is a more compelling idea?
Both.
Which one should we do first?
The bullet time thing is a little more marketable, but the other one could be cooler and trippier.
Yeah. Both combined at the same time.
Simultaneously
do
work
a
on
Neo
both
bullet
videos.
time scene in the house I grew up in. And I show it to my mom.
Baby
No, those are just
being
two
Neo.
very different video concepts. There's no reason we can't do both.
Mm-hmm.
I think the bullet time one is absolutely more marketable. Because
Child to home one is hard though. That's hard.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
It's like, how you get it? Like, who has just like a full walkthrough?
Is it that hard though? Is it? Did like just?
It depends on the
Gaussian
source.
splat?
It depends on what you have.
Yeah, and because it's like you could like combine the technology for them though, where you just the bullet time in my childhood home, where it's just like the candid VHS footage, but then you're just like everyone's you're constantly getting cool orbits and reframing it all.
But then it's going to be making up all the stuff it sees in the
See, that- and
side
that's
of the
the
shot.
thing.
But the whole thing about the nostalgia aspect of this is that like you're going to immediately latch on to the that wasn't in my house. We didn't have a red cabinet right to the left of where you're filming.
Or was it? Was anything real?
Whoa, deja vu.
Deja vu. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? A thing that people always get wrong when they do their own bullet time? It's the freaking bullet trails. It's not like a wobbly tube. It's individual discs that are stationary.
I
and they're
love
different sizes.
No, they expand outwards, I thought.
They're like they go blue, like they're stationary. They don't like move at all. It's like the bullet just like spawns stationary discs that do a size change, which is very clearly, now that I think about it, somebody just making a script.
Sure.
Yeah,
like most VFX, but
most VFX people, especially back then.
Yeah.
The craziest thing I learned from Paul Debevic about that bullet time shot was that the background was essentially a Nerf.
Right.
Or a Gaussian, not in actual technological terms, but it was a
Functional.
photo scan with view-dependent reflections.
Yeah.
Which is something that has been lost to time with photo scans since then.
Yeah.
Now it's like it's baked out as a texture, but back then it was like, no, depending on which angle you're viewing this solid surface from, it would actually give you a different pixel.
Which is crazy, but also probably super data intensive because you're basically just streaming a texture from every single camera point of view, and it just fades between them depending on your
pretty much.
how close
But
you
like
are.
they were doing this on 1999 hardware.
Yeah.
Like how hard can it be? But
Probably
my point is
pretty
that like
Hard enough for not many other people to do it, but yeah.
sure, but like they're on this rooftop, right? In the Matrix scene, the bullet time effect. So it's like you have the rooftop ground, the whatever you call the stuff around the rooftop, the
Edge.
edge of the rooftop, you know, a couple feet high, and then you have like the skyscraper in the distance with all of the mirrors on
Yeah.
it, or the
Mirrors,
windows that are highly
yeah.
reflective. But as the camera's moving around, the reflections change on that window.
And if it didn't, it'd look like a PS1 game.
Exactly, because it would be static, and you're like, that is not a reflective thing. That is like a stone wall that looks like it was painted to
And
look
it's
like
so
windows.
subtle. It's so subtle.
It's a subtle thing.
Because
You
you're
don't
never even
acknowledge it.
looking at the damn building.
Yeah.
But because it works as the camera's panning around, it automatically just kind of sells you that that's a real building in the background.
Yeah.
And so
Because
that was just one of those things. And
for the longest time, before I saw the behind the scenes shot of him on the green screen, like after watching the movie, and I heard about that rig, I thought they actually put the rig on a roof, like before actually seeing the behind the scenes, because it just looks like footage. It just it doesn't look like he's on a green screen.
Yeah, you're like, why is he on a green screen? I guess they just were testing it. Yeah. As a kid, that's what I was thinking too. There's also this weird like test that they show here where they have like a CG cloth sim of like plastic over him. And I wonder what that's for. Because it seems like they were like maybe testing out if they could do like a jacket in CGI. But it's also interesting to see how much morphing there is between the
yeah,
frames.
a lot of morphing.
Yeah.
They have to like smooth out that stuff.
Sick.
Such
All
a
right,
good
this is what
idea
I
for
want
a
to see. I
shot.
want to see that
Finished
building.
effect, just the final feature film.
Yeah, look at those reflections in that window. It's perfect.
Yeah, and so the key thing you're seeing is the reflection of the buildings behind the camera at the start of the shot. Go to the start of the shot
Damn,
and just pause.
best movie ever.
It's such a good movie.
Okay, so like notice keep it pause. Notice the buildings that you see in the reflection of the buildings, of the windows. God dang it, behind the camera. As the camera turns, you see their position change in relation to the rest of the building with the windows on it.
Yeah, it's parallax.
Yes, parallax.
Same thing with the shine in the concrete floor, which is way more subtle, but just as important.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's one of those things that if you're to do this with a photo scan today, like say you use Polycam and you just like you photo scanned a rooftop and you just have generic lighting applied to it, it's like it's not going to look this good.
The thing is, the geometry had to be built by hand.
But it's simple geometry. It's just floors and it's just a bunch of flat surfaces, you know?
Hey, let's go that the Matrix effect is easier to create than you think that you had. Let's just see what he did.
Oh, these guys.
How are they going to do it? Are they going to...
What are these? They're from Belgium or the Netherlands or something?
Are they going to spin the camera?
I've watched this video. I forget.
I think I've seen it too, actually.
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
These guys.
Oh, they just
He's
spin
Right to
away.
the end, right to the end. All the way.
Yeah, spoil it.
Okay. Just not... I mean, okay. It's a way of doing it. Okay. Well...
Let's see how it looks.
I mean, this is like a way of imitating the look, but it's not the actual bullet time effect. It just does not capture.
Well, we haven't seen it yet. Let's wait until we see it.
No, I don't think so. I disagree.
I mean, look at his jacket. Like an essential thing to the bullet time effect is just not there. And once again, they know what they're doing. They're not trying to actually exactly mimic it, but
Yeah.
I think it's important to recognize in the original shot there's like very specific elements that like make it what it is.
Yeah, it definitely seems not slow motion when you can clearly see the jacket just resting on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the reasons, like in Mario Skate back in the day, like 10 years ago when we made that, it was a 60 frames per second video, and I really wanted to show that off by having like a fluttering shirt. So I specifically got this silk shirt that was super lightweight, and it fluttered in the wind so beautifully that at a high frame rate, you could see it all.
Dude, what a baller shot. Just everything about this movie is just perfection.
I can just do all the
And
sound
the
effects.
smoke in
It's
the back.
like Hardboiled was probably one of the best action movie of all time, and then this movie was the only other film that was able to improve on that.
You're right.
They're like, what if in Hardboiled each time they dove sideways in slow motion shot their guns, what if you could see also the bullets too? And you're like, yeah, actually that would be sweeter. The only thing missing was seeing the bullets.
Not fast enough. I love the decision to do the 2 close-ups of squib shots afterwards. And then the lens flare cover up with the gun raising is so perfectly framed.
Go back to that.
There's so much to the scene, like just little details. Like the entire team that worked on this movie, like not like the Wachowskis are great, but like everybody that worked on this movie, freaking
I love
killed
that
it.
direct sunlight too, with
Yeah.
the shadow. It's great.
And then right here, whoop, guns perfectly on the sun.
and like that perfectly on the cut too into the close up.
Yeah,
It's like the moment like the shot resolves, it like cuts to the clear angle of him.
yep.
It's like so perfectly mechanical and timed.
Yeah. Man, everything about this, every single detail, every single shot is like perfect. But the whole movie was very heavily storyboarded out too. Like more than any other movie had been at that point, where you could just read the movie by flipping through a book.
Also notice how in this shot we're actually looking at real footage,
Yeah.
like of the background, and it's replicated so perfectly in the bullet time shot.
Do you guys know where this is?
On a rooftop
But in which city?
in a city.
It's in Australia, right?
Yep, this is Sydney, which is a great option for a city that like looks like every other city, but you've never actually seen it before. A liminal
Because
city.
it's so far.
A liminal
dang,
city.
Liminal
No one
city.
goes to Sydney. Just
Yeah.
criminals.
Man, what a baller move, by the way. He when you know there's like a bad guy behind you, and you got like 2 Berettas, and you do a surprise turnaround with double Berettas, bag dump.
Bagged up with double Berettas.
Watch, he's like, surprise, bitch! Like no one is supposed to evade that. That's amazing.
Too bad he didn't aim for the legs.
Think those are digital
Yeah.
muzzle flashes?
Yeah, that shot would have been more awkward if he's like doing this, but his like legs are trailing. He's like dance.
On the close-up shot, that one there when he's firing the guns, are those blanks or are those digital muzzle flashes?
Those are digital for sure.
The close-up there.
Oh, right there. They might be painted. No, those look like real actually.
Think so?
The guns are kicking kind of the right way.
One of the things I love.
They might be real guns with muzzle flashes painted on later.
But they were doing the correct like little like
Yeah, so they probably real blank guns, but muzzle flashes added later.
You know, like he wears sunglasses for like a variety of reasons, but it really helps in these shots when they're like just mag dumping and stuff, so
Oh,
that way
yeah.
you don't see their eyes like glitching out.
Yeah.
You know?
Glitching out.
I love that seeing movies where they're using real blanks and people are like, "Ah!" Like each time they have to shoot, they're like blank firing guns. It's so cool.
Christian, we just pull up a scene from Hardboiled. We pulled the dock scene from Hardboiled.
I was about to say that first warehouse fight where they roll in with the dirt
I mean, the
bikes.
warehouse fights is like.
Well, it's just because
best
it has that one like it has the Max Payne dive, but yeah. I mean, the dock, the tea house scene.
No, but the dock scene is like so.
Oh, the dock scene
perfect.
with the boats.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what's the best scene one? Hardboiled best scene.
Hardboiled best scene. Let's see.
Wait, what is the best scene from Hardboiled?
And John Woo right there, cameo. Yeah, skip.
Is it just him being a badass?
Yeah, it's just him being a badass.
Walking around being.
He finds the gun in the book. Okay. Yeah. Freeze, bitch.
Whoa.
Goes to sleep kind of gently in the book.
Well, that's not the best scene, but there it is.
There it is.
This is a great.
The thing is, like, this isn't the flashiest scene at all in the
It's
movie.
not. It's
the
not.
most subtle scene, but because of it, like, it's so focused. Like, to me, this is the Matrix right here. This is like a Matrix gunfight.
Oh, we got high frame rate on it.
That's cool. It's all right. Whatever.
Yeah, it's
It's
fine.
interpolated.
Somebody needed a justification for a re-upload.
It's all right.
It's fine. Just
All right. This one's pretty good.
Well, it's like it's all like such focused geometry of a scene where it's like they clearly establish where everybody is. Every single time someone pulls the trigger, they're trying to kill somebody, and like the life is on the line. It's not like a movie where you just shoot a gun all the time and maybe it hits somebody, maybe it doesn't. It's really just there to like make fireworks around them. Like this is one where like every single time somebody's shooting a gun is like somebody's trying to stab somebody, and it has like that personal feeling, which movies like really forget. Like I remember like struggling this with Lifeline, like how it was written, because they had gunfight scenes in it. But like, guys, when people are shooting at each other, it's not just like bang bang ha ha. Like,
see, like the first shot fired hits
the guy,
hits him. He sneaks up on him and he shoots him. Like I love that. Surprise, bitch. Do.
And then the second shot fired also hits a guy.
Yeah, like exactly. Yeah, it's like once again, he's getting them.
Work is so good. And the thing is, like, it's just water around a boat, so your stunt guys can go crazy. Oh, the explosives. And, like, the guy shoots, and then it shows the consequence of his actions. Action, consequence, action, consequence. And it's, like, in the same shot, too.
Look at that.
Oh.
Damn, I love that. Roll into the water.
and that blood splat on the dock when he rolls.
Yeah.
Such a good justification to dive off a boat. Even if it's hot out.
Oh, look at that. Shoots. He jumps and shoots and squibs at the same time. So nice. Oh, dude, how is he even alive?
Dude, this box exploding when he shoots back at Chow Yun-Fat.
I know. This is the dive when he shoots at the dock. Oh, my God.
Such a big shotgun.
Whoa.
And the way it clips his foot.
Boom, boom, boom. And he's on the ground, dives.
Like this is a perfect gunfight scene.
It
and it's
really
like
is.
not that crazy. Like what they do, they put like 4 squibs into things on a boat and blew them up, and like a couple squibs on dudes, and that's it. But yet like it's so good and it's so intense. Perfectly directed. Like every single thing matters.
How's that guy standing? He's got so many bullet holes in him.
He was
It's a
getting
shotgun.
That was the post.
Buckshot.
There's some
Oh,
buckshot
fair.
in him. So I mean, he could theoretically survive it. I mean, it's a
He's also like, look how cool he is.
Might be bleeding.
damn,
whoa.
fucking savage. Sorry, this movie is just like so. My bad.
He's a mob boss. That's why.
I forgot to
like,
say.
He's an undercover cop running as a gangster, and so that's why Chow Yun-Fat, who is a cop, went there to meet him, had to dive into the water and swim away.
And that's
before
why
these
he
guys showed up.
executes him cold style there, because he wants them to all think he's hard AF.
Yeah. Also,
all
that
right.
guy saw that he was with the cop, so can't let him say anything to his buddies when they run up.
Yeah.
It's basically The Departed, but with like way better gunfights.
Way cooler gunfights, yeah.
And actually a very good movie.
It's an incredible film.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Like when it comes to The Matrix versus this, it's kind of like I mean, they're equally good, but like The Matrix is just like
I'd give the edge to The Matrix just because like it aligns with everything that I want in a film.
If The Matrix didn't exist, I'd revert to this.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
God dang, yeah, it's so good. It's precise. Yeah, no, you're right though. Like that is truly the thing though with like gunfights in film. It's like if you have two people shooting guns at each other and no one's getting hit, it's a poor reflection on their character because it means they're bad at gunfights, you know, so to speak, or you're just like bad at writing, I guess. I don't know.
No, you're right. It's like it's either using it for like spectacle and fireworks, or you have to like treat it with the like emotional weight it's supposed to have.
Exactly. And even in Hardboiled, when they do the fireworks moments and they're just like they spray, there's always got a guy in the middle going ooh, and sometimes it's a nobody, but you know, it's like when you spray that many bullets to create this, you know, shower of sparks and stuff, they always put at least one guy in there to show you that hail of bullets has an effect, you know. Mm-hmm. That's I don't know, it's just so good, so amazing.
People in the comments are talking about this movie theater called Cosm. Have you guys heard of that?
Yeah, I was at Cosm 2 weeks ago. I saw The Matrix there.
Oh, did you? Okay, then.
Yeah.
I really want to go see a basketball game there. I think that's the ideal
The
type
sports.
It's like a
So they did a
half-one.
little demo reel of like the sports stuff. That's very cool. Like it feels like you are on the edge of the arena.
Yeah,
'Cause, like,
I mean-
you don't have binocular 3D vision at a certain distance.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is about the distance of the screen, and the scale is life size.
Yeah.
So it feels like you're just sitting in a little like box seat right by
It's
the
like I can
stadium.
understand being like, I don't know about watching a movie there, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that. But like the sports idea, like, because I mean,
The dome looks cool.
most people don't realize this outside of Corridor. I'm a very huge NBA fan. I love watching basketball. It's like my entire YouTube feed. But I would love to go see a basketball game on one of those things. We met one of the guys who runs the broadcasting for Cosm at NAB this year.
Yeah, they pipe back like multiple like 8K streams and then live switch it.
Yeah,
for the
it's
screen.
nuts. It's
Yeah.
nuts. The guy was describing like all the stuff they have to do, and it's like, whoa, that's so much. So, what was your experience watching The Matrix?
It was all right. it was funny.
I saw like some videos on social media about it, and it's like you have like the movie kind of filling up part of the screen, and you have like code filling up the rest of the
Yeah,
screen,
they
or
had-
like various other things.
It was
or, like,
really
you're in the-
interesting because like they had somebody do 3D animations. Like there's like a frame, like a 3D frame around the movie, and then like 3D animations that happen around it depending on
Okay.
the scene that you're in. Which probably is like
Distracting.
the Wachowskis never intended for this. On the other hand, like if you're gonna watch, you know, D was laughing at something, and somebody I like turned back and looked at him. He's like, "What? You haven't seen The Matrix before?" You know, it's like if you've seen The Matrix before, so might as well go watch it in new context, you know, and like just see a kind of like a cool, fun. I'd always consider it like a fan presentation.
Wait, D said that to the other person? Like, what? You haven't seen The Matrix before? Or
Well,
they
because
said that to
they
D?
had said something like they were laughing at something that they had done on screen, and like a guy in the front was like, you know, kind of like that "Can you be
Kinda
quiet"
like,
look.
How dare you?
And
I'm
he was like,
trying to-
"What? This is your first time seeing The Matrix?"
It's like, look, read you have to read it's like read the ticket, bro. It says a shared cinematic experience.
Yeah. So actually, there's something very cool that they did do, which I think is genius, and I want every movie theater to do it, which is when the characters have food on screen, they serve you that food in the theater.
Oh wow.
They did that?
Yeah. So when Cypher has that steak dinner,
You all got steaks?
they brought out little steaks, and so you all got to take a bite of steak at the same time. And it was like, it really hit. And when the Oracle gives Neo a cookie,
You get a cookie.
we all got chocolate chip cookies.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
pretty.
That's
That
actually
part
kinda
was
funny.
fantastic. So
Gimmicky as hell, but I feel like it sounds like it works.
yeah, then you get to watch The Matrix, you know.
And that's The Matrix. Yeah.
I mean, there it is.
And The Matrix is like truly one of the best films ever made. And watching it there, like, hit me for like, holy crap, this is an amazing film. But also, the sequels are just nowhere near.
I see what
The
you mean.
Matrix
Yeah,
is.
they gave little plates with a couple strips of steak and little
Yeah.
cookies.
Like, there's so much mystery and undefined things from the first Matrix film that, like, clearly we're just, you know, they're making stuff up on the spot. And they're like, you know, whatever, let's leave this undefined. It'll be up to the audience. And, like, the second film, they just decide to, like, mind those things for, like, story. It's like, no. Like, they should just, like, yeah, that ambivalent, ambiguous, what's going on, leave it, like, mystery, you know, let things be kind of weird and fluid. Like, I wish they would have kept more of that in the sequels. As
Yeah,
opposed to, like,
invent more stuff instead of just like
yeah, instead of like,
recycle.
I'm the Keymaster and I'm the Merovingian and we are the twins and I'm a program that does this and I'm the RAM cleaner upper and you know, it's like also
cleaner
here's Zion.
upper.
It's kind of boring, you know, like yeah. I'm just passionate about humanity and like saving humanity and that's why I'm in Zion. Anyways, let's go into The Matrix and And then the highway chase happened, so it was all good. So
Highway chase is the best part of that film.
Yeah. Yeah. But, it's once again, it's that feeling of like Matrix 1 is a film that somebody worked on for a decade, and Matrix 2 is a film that somebody made in 2 years, Just has that feeling.
And they made the second and third one at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess 1 year if you divide it.
No, it was 3 years for the two
That's
movies.
true. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, this stuff's cool. Yeah, you got to see. Neo Revs talks about someone who saw Thunderbolts in a 3-screen theater. I remember we saw one of those way back in the day.
I remember that back in the day.
These screen things are all gimmicks, but ultimately, like, movie theaters are well established. One big screen. If you're going to watch a movie, that's where you're going to see it. It's pretty effective still.
Yeah.
People
aren't looking for the tech; they're looking for the experience.
Yeah, and currently a giant screen, watching a movie on a giant screen, basically fulfills and checks all those boxes.
Like, you need a kind of movie that makes you want to watch with an audience.
Yeah.
Like, you need an RRR, and then it's like, yeah, I'm going to go to the theater and watch RRR. Like, why wouldn't I? That's where you're supposed to watch that. That's what the experience is for. That's how the movie is crafted to make you feel.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I don't know, I might watch a David Fincher movie at home instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
Anyways, we can talk about the Matrix all the time. And
What about,
I never get tired of it.
How do you guys... I know we've talked about this before, but, like, what are your guys' opinions currently, as of now, on getting an LED wall in the studio?
I still think it's more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah. But, I don't know, it's kind of one of those things is, like, if the trouble could be brought down enough, it would be cool to have a big LED wall.
I mean, the tech is super cool. It's still one of those things, like, now you need to make something for the LED wall. Like, we'd get some cool, like, backgrounds for, like,
honestly,
things.
I'm literally just thinking of, like, for something, like, just a big TV.
You plug a background file, your laptop plugged into it, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd use it for
As
that.
opposed to doing the whole, like, we're going to have Unreal Engine running in real time with a tracked camera so you can get, like, in-camera shots. I'm less interested in that.
But, yeah, it's just the big thing is still, it's like, yeah, it's easy to build a big screen, but then you need a space big enough to, like, get the right distance away from that, too. Because, like, you have to be, like, 15, 20 feet away, or else you get, like, gnarly moire patterns.
It depends on the pitch distance of the pixels, like, how close the pixels are.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, even in here, it's, like,
we don't have that much room.
Well, the shoot would take like half our studio, I feel like.
Hey, NeoRev, how did you hear about that David Fincher film? I'm curious.
I did. It's news.
Okay.
Basically, Netflix was like, hey, we're going to pay you money
So they
to make a
announced it.
sequel, and then David Fincher's going to direct it.
Okay.
Which is all right, but then it's a Netflix movie still, so it's like, is anyone actually doing this to make a good movie?
I was just wondering when it became public knowledge.
Although all of David Fincher's stuff...
When did you hear about it?
That's confidential.
I didn't. When you heard about it? I can guess who you heard it from, but I'm not going to say.
Someone's bragging a little bit.
I didn't say anything.
Is this something you've known for a long
everyone
time?
finally knows. That I've already forgotten.
Well, that old thing?
April 1st.
Oh, yeah, this has been out for a couple months.
Okay.
Okay, and did you know earlier than that, Nico? Even earlier than April 1st?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, I thought
Let's
this was
assume you
actually...
did.
You read this article and was like, I've known about it all along.
Since April 1st.
Yeah. But you guys don't read the industry rag, Variety?
Variety.com. Oh. Too privileged for
Industry
you.
what?
Rag.
Oh, rag.
Oh,
Okay.
The playlist was the first.
Oh, so you heard it from the playlist, eh? Let's dive even deeper.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Good times.
You know what? David Fincher's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood could be cool. I wonder how it'll feel.
Full CGI. Which is going to make it better.
My interview with Colin and Samir. I actually really enjoyed meeting Colin and Samir. It was pretty great. They're fantastic interviewers. But I always get nervous putting myself out there in a podcast.
You should feel nervous.
I should feel nervous.
No, I mean,
Yeah. I care too much about what people think of me online, which is probably not something I should worry about.
Hope you don't read the comments. It doesn't matter, really.
all the
Except for
comments
the
were
ones.
glowing
But I
for
read
you.
the comments all the time.
I know.
That's the thing.
That's the thing. I say I don't read the comments, and then I proceed to read them. Yeah, I'm excited for Jurassic World. Wait, Jurassic World Rebirth? Why not? I thought they were calling it Jurassic Park Rebirth.
No.
No, it's World.
They're done calling them Jurassic Parks.
They've never called it Jurassic Park since early 2000s.
Jurassic Park and then Jurassic World was the second one.
Maybe that was a Spielberg thing.
What?
What was
No, it
the
was
second?
Jurassic Park
the first
3.
Three were Jurassic Park.
There's Jurassic Park, then
So
2,
there were
then
Jurassic
3.
Parks.
Yeah.
3 of them.
There's 3 Jurassic Parks.
Oh,
Yes.
the new ones were Jurassic
But now
Worlds.
there's like 4 or 5 Jurassic Worlds.
Yeah.
Shouldn't they come up with a new Jurassic noun? I don't know. I feel, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Jurassic Universe.
Jurassic Universe. Yes.
Jurassic Land.
Jurassic Park, World.
Fallen
And now
Kingdom Dominion.
Yeah, so this is the 4th
Revengeance.
Jurassic World movie. I am very excited for this movie, if only for Gareth Edwards directing it.
Yep, same.
He's got good visions of how to make big things look intimidating.
Hope he shoots it on FX3s again.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not.
Do the whole T-Rex
looks-
and the
this looks
river
like the creator.
straight out of the first book.
Yeah, already.
I can't tell what movie this is, honestly. Is this the... Okay, no, there's a dinosaur. It's definitely Jurassic World. Mr. Worldwide. Mommy, please. I haven't even seen this yet.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Is this the trailer that has the...
It's just number 2. I'm not sure.
There's the T-Rex and the river sequence. That's the main
Damn,
one.
damn,
Yeah, here we
this-
go. This is...
Damn. This is funny.
Genetically modified dinosaurs.
Oh,
Wow,
Swimming.
he's taking the Godzilla approach to this.
Planet Earth.
With the whole like apocalypse Jurassic Park kind of abandoned area thing.
T-Rex is not very good at eating things.
They're slow.
I haven't read the Jurassic Park book, but like the one that the original movie was based on, that is literally a sequence from that story.
The first Jurassic Park book's pretty good, and very like tied in with the film.
I've read a couple Michael Crichton
I think
books.
Michael Crichton wrote the Jurassic Park script. If I'm not mistaken.
The script?
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right. I read Prey. That was like the nanobot.
Prey was
featured.
cool.
I'm talking about the book. Are you
Yeah.
talking? Okay. With the cloud of nanobots?
No, yeah, the Prey with the nanobots is
Yeah.
crazy.
That was a
I think
crazy
I
story.
think they made a movie, but it was probably dumb.
No, I don't think they made a movie.
Okay.
Then there's another one where they're all like on the bottom of the ocean, and I think it was like Sphere or something like
Sphere,
that.
yeah.
Sphere's cool.
There's also the Andromeda strain.
Timeline was
Jurassic
great.
World.
The book
Timeline.
Timeline was cool. The movie I never saw, but it looked
Oh, the
cheesy
Paul
as
Walker
heck.
one?
Yeah.
Timeline was like, I was not expecting it to be what it was when I started reading it. I thought it was going to be like some crazy like Michael Crichton book about like time travel, but instead it was about a professor going back into medieval times and wanting to live there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I liked it. I was like, this is cool.
I mean, knights are cool, and a dude like, you know, being like, I'm a modern man who wants to live in the medieval times. Like, that was fun. But definitely not what I was expecting after like reading other books like Jurassic Park.
I remember enjoying the movie, but I was in like early high school because I had Paul Walker. Gerard Butler was in it.
Yep.
A French dude who got killed immediately. I always remember they talked about like whenever you would go back, it was like getting a photocopy of a photocopy. So this one guy had gone back too many times, and so like if he ever traveled again, he would die. So he just stayed there.
Yeah, no, that's the part I liked about it, which was like the idea of like the teleportation physics of like, oh, like we're rebuilding matter, and so that way, yeah, people deteriorate the more they do it.
Yeah.
I was like, that was blowing my mind.
Dude, have you guys seen The Meg?
No.
No,
I mean, you're not missing anything. But I watched
That's what I've
a
heard.
couple sequences from The Meg that I think I'll have to include in the Scale of Dinos video. It's so out there. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
sweet.
I've been talking about the Scale of Dinosaurs video for like 2 or 3 months now, and I have yet to really actually begin working on it.
You better,
There's like been a little bit of like research and outlining here and there over the last several months. But I'm excited to finally get into it. I think Friday is going to be my first day to actually like write.
heck yeah.
If you have a chance, let's do the render test. Even if it's just like with a really janky dinosaur model.
Dude, people are gonna get so
I will not
angry.
have time this week for that.
Well, next week maybe.
We have Tim Miller coming on the show tomorrow morning.
Heck yeah.
Yes, we do.
It's rad.
I'm going to look at Love, Death, and Robots and Secret Level with him.
Damn,
So
this
I'm very
podcast,
excited for
this
it.
podcast just went full circle. Although I think that's technically on the pre-show.
That's right. Which means we should take it to the after show.
I
It's
guess.
about that time.
Thanks
So-
for watching, everyone.
Hey, yeah, thanks for
Thanks
watching,
for listening.
everybody. Hey, those who have joined us on YouTube, consider coming on over to corridordigital.com and joining us for the after show. We're going to hang out for a little bit longer here Just kind of chat in the comments. Be chill.
What did you think of the Witcher 4 gameplay trailer? We looked at that on React.
It's
you might
coming
see
out
that
probably
soon.
this weekend.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Catch you later.
And a 3, 2.